Basic Brewing Video is brought to you by the American Homebrewers Association, a worldwide community of fermentation enthusiasts. Join the association in September and receive a pound of free Azacca hops with your membership. Go to homebrewersassociation.org and use the promo code SEPTHOPS when you join or renew. Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
Here we are together again in the kitchen.
Yep.
And you took a long break from brewing, but you're back into it.
Back with a vengeance.
With a bullet.
Or with a bullet.
Or something.
Something like that.
You've been catching up for lost time.
Well, I had to get ready for fall.
Oh.
So this is one of the fall beers.
Okay. And this is one that
actually this is an important one.
Oh,
because it's important because you gave me the malt for it, and I've been meaning to brew something with that malt for a long time. So here's what it is.
Okay.
It's a smoked lavender Braggot. So you remember the smoked lavender?
Oh yeah.
Well, James gave me a pile of it that actually weighed out to be 3 pounds. And so I thought, what am I going to do with 3 pounds of this smoked lavender malt? And I wanted to do something somewhat unique, and I couldn't think of much. At first I thought maybe I'll do a wit beer with it and just use some of that instead of Pilsner malt or whatever. And then I hit on the idea of doing a light, summery Braggot. So I'll let you pour while I talk, or however you want to do this, but here's what we've got, and I'm sorry I don't have any B-roll, but this is a 3 pounds of lavender smoked malt, 1 pound of DME, which is, I use Pilsner, 4.38 or 4 pounds, 6 ounces of honey, and I just used a good quality local honey that I was able to buy locally, because I didn't want to drive a long way away to get it.
To get local honey?
Yeah. And, but what's a little bit unique about how I did this is I did it as really a partial mash. So I mashed the 3 pounds of smoked malt in 3 gallons of water in the oven, like we would do
a small batch.
Small batch. That was the mash. Then I mixed up a must of the honey separately, and let that off the side. Then I boiled the wort. This is confusing to say it. Boiled the wort and added the DME. And once I got it to the boil, I added 4/10 of an ounce of Cascade, 6/10 of an ounce of Fuggle for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So now I've made a wort with 3 pounds of smoked malt, 1 pound of DME, and 3 gallons of water at a 15-minute total boil.
Ooh, okay.
Then I cooled that down. Then I added the 1 gallon must in, which contained 1 gallon of water and all of the honey.
Which you didn't boil.
Which I did not boil.
Oh.
So then I blended those together in the fermenter. Then I topped it up to hit my 5-gallon mark. Pitched yeast, and I pitched Imperial Dieter.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the beer.
Now, Dieter is a German yeast.
Yep, it's a Kolsch yeast
from Imperial.
Yeah, and I chose that because I really wanted a really clean fermentation. I wanted it to drop out and be nice and bright and pretty. I didn't want it to be cloudy. I didn't want it to take forever. I didn't want it to have a lot of phenolics. The goal here was to highlight and showcase both the lavender malt and the honey, so that you picked up both of those. The hops are just there to provide some bittering to make it in balance with itself.
Right.
But it's really to, hopefully when we drink this, we'll both say to ourselves or to the camera, wow, I really get the honey, and wow, I really get the lavender malt. And I didn't want to disguise those.
And I have to mention, I was sorry for being rude. I was listening, right. But I was looking at it's from Sugar Creek Malting Company.
Thanks. And I was going to ask
Indiana,
you.
That's why I was looking. I was like, oh no, I can't.
Yeah.
So I'm feeble. I'm old and feeble. I can't remember things like I used to.
It's my law firm.
Did you old and feeble?
Yeah.
Did you say the specific gravity in the ABV?
Okay, so the original gravity was 1.052, And the final gravity was 0.998.
Ooh, quite dry.
And it's quite dry. And so 7.1 on the Richter scale.
Well, there you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
It smells like honey, and it smells like smoke a little bit.
It smells like your bees caught on fire.
There's a fire in the beehive.
There's a fire in the beehive.
Oh, with a little bit of grandma's bathroom in there. No, you get a little bit of a tasteful amount of the lavender in there, but you also get a little bit of that smoke. But it is definitely a honey drink,
Right.
which is really nice. We've had some Braggots in the past that have been kind of out of balance.
Yeah.
But yours have always been like a blending of beer and mead. I mean, like a happy, maybe leaning more on the beer side.
This definitely does, and yeah, and that's for sure. I think I prefer that. I tend to kind of brew that way. So, yeah. So I just really wanted to capture both of those distinct flavors and keep them present. And that was the goal of the beer. So it was a little bit of a academic exercise as well as something that I hoped would taste good.
And it's really interesting that the way you did this, because you did it you combined partial mash, because you did a mash with the grain, you added in dry malt extract, and then you did these separate. You did a short time boil, which is something we never would have done in the beginning, and then you treated the honey mixture, honey and water mixture, like a must. You didn't boil it. You didn't boil away those volatile flavors.
Right.
So this is something that you really, you can tell you've been doing this a while, because I think a less experienced brewer would have put everything together into the brew pot and boiled it all and for an hour and probably lost all of the delicate character of the beer.
That's exactly how I would have made it, X number of years ago. And there's no doubt about it. But with a little bit of experience, you begin to know, how can I preserve this flavor? How can I preserve that flavor? The only thing I wasn't sure about was the length of the boil. But because we'd been doing so many short boils and other people are doing them for various reasons, and I thought, you know what, this is a really light beer. It doesn't need a big long boil. Once it's pasteurized, I'm going to be happy with that. And I knew that it wasn't about hops, so I just used a small amount of hops and just enough to just give it some backbone, Cascade and Fuggle, and not a whole lot of either one of those. And that's it. That's the beer. Real simple.
Wow.
And yet, I think tasty.
It's super delicate, but at the same time, very, very drinkable. And you say this a lot, but you couldn't have told me that was a little over 7% alcohol, because it's very clean and drinkable and
drink two of them.
refreshing. Oh.
I've done it, believe me.
But it's delicious. It's super delicious and very, like I say, I got cheers to you on your
pretty.
Yes. Let's do that. Don't hold it in front of your face so I can get the screenshot. There we go.
I've had that said to me in other filming adventures too.
It's a family show.
That's right.
No, but cheers to you again on the technique. I hope you guys are taking notes, and we'll put, for Patreon people, I'll put the recipe out there, so that you can use it as an example of how you can use honey and other delicate ingredients and not just destroy your stuff.
Yeah, because I still get that little bit of honey sweet, It's like a little nut and honey in there.
All right. Delicious. Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you, James.
Cheers again.
Cheers.
Happy brewing, everybody. See you next time.
Prost.
Come and visit us online at basicbrewing.com. You can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on homebrewing. You can also find our DVDs and our brewer's logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. Slam you right into those old-fashioned trees you used to have. You mean the aluminums?
You know, America's youth is just missing out. I really think that.